Voice of Indonesia.
Voice of Indonesia from Indonesia to the world. Welcome back to me, Ahmad Faisal, at the special program of interview. Well, you know that Indonesia and Denmark have a very long history of maintaining their bilateral relations. And to know more about the bilateral relations between Indonesia and Denmark, here with us at the studio of Voice of Indonesia, there is Ambassador of Denmark to Indonesia, Malaysia, Timor-Leste, Papua New Guinea, and ASEAN, His Excellency Mr. Sten Frimodt Nielsen. How are you today, Your Excellency?
Very fine, thank you. Thank you for having me here. It's a great pleasure and an honor to be here with you today.
Thank you for your time to come to studio of Voice of Indonesia today.
You're most welcome.
Okay, well, actually, before we ask more about detail about bilateral relations between Indonesia and Denmark, actually, Mr. Ambassador, how long have you been on duty in Indonesia?
Well, I arrived last October, so I just celebrated my half year here. So things are getting more and more normal for me. I have adjusted, yes, I'm very happy and settling in.
Have you already tasted maybe one of Indonesian traditional foods or beverages maybe?
I'm living very much on nasi goreng.
Oh,
I'm very happy with that.
Is it spicy or not?
I go for the not so spicy kind.
Not so spicy.
But, maybe I will work my way up the spicy scale, but for the moment I'm happy with the not so spicy.
All right. Okay. Well, Mr. Ambassador, 26 May of this year will be celebrated as King's birthday for Danish people. So, how does the people of Denmark celebrate about this birthday?
Well, you know that Denmark is what we call a constitutional monarchy. So it is not that the king's birthday or the monarch's birthday is a national holiday or something like that. It is more like it's a tradition that the monarch appears on the balcony of the palace in Copenhagen, and quite a few people, quite a lot actually, normally will gather in the square in front of the palace and pay their respects. They will be waving the flags, and there will be children from the kindergarten, and people will be there cheering, and the monarch, in this case it will be the king, will appear on the balcony and wave back. So cool. It will be like it's not a formal celebration, but it will be like people come there to cheer and say hurrah and that kind of celebration. Of course, there will be it will be different if you have a special birthday, like if 50 years or 75 years old, then there will be much more of a celebration. But our king will only be 56, so it's not a special birthday like that. It's special in a way because it will be the first time that our new king will be celebrating his birthday as a king, whereas his mother, of course, had the opportunity to do it many times. She abdicated, as you probably know, in January after 52 years on the throne. So this is a new situation. So it will be the first time for him. So I'm sure there will be quite a turnout on Sunday when he will be appearing on the balcony.
So, Mr. Ambassador, please tell me if I'm mistaken. You said that it is not a formal celebration, but does the government only at the time, give such a special time, especially for people not to work, not to go to school? Yeah, is it holiday at the time?
No. It's a normal working day, except it will be Sunday this year. So it will not be because of the king's birthday, but it will be not a working day this year. But it's not celebrated as a national holiday.
Oh, okay.
No.
So, how does Danish celebrate the country's royal identity, including their respect for the king as a symbol of unity?
Well, I think that once again, as I said, we are a constitutional monarchy. So the king, the queen, the monarch is formally the head of state, but not like in Indonesia, where the head of state, the president, is also head of government.
Yes.
And therefore has political power. In Denmark, the monarch is head of state, but exercises no political power, so does not have a say in the running of government. So it is, as you say, a monarchy where the monarchy is more of a symbol. So I think that in Denmark there is an overwhelming support for the monarchy as this kind of symbol. And there are a lot of people who feel that the monarchy is a way of the country gathering around a figure that represents us as a nation. Perhaps especially because it is a figure that is not political. So you can have your divergence of view politically, but you can still feel that we have something in common, which is the monarch. I don't know if I express myself in a way that you can relate to, but it is, as you say, it's more of a symbol, and it's not a political figure. So it's very different from a system like the Indonesian one, where we just went through a presidential election, where by definition it is a political choice who leads the nation as head of state. So we have this situation where, as I said, the current king, who just took over from his mother, is now going to fill this role as monarch after his mother, who was on the throne for 52 years, which is a very, very long period. She became queen when she was very young, and over the years she grew into this role and developed it and became very much the mother of the nation. Now, of course, it is for the new king to fill this role in his own way and to to become the father of the nation. But of course, it's not something that you do from one day to the other. So he will grow into this role just like his mother grew into her role. So I think that is the way it will work. But it will be a period of adjustment for him, but also for the people. They will have to get used to him in this role.
Okay, Mr. Ambassador, King Frederick X is very concerned about the climate and also involved in many environmental projects. So the question, how might his focus on climate and natural preservation impact Danish government policy?
Well, again, as I said before, because the king, the monarch, is not a political figure and does not have political power, therefore the king has no influence on government policy. So therefore there is no direct influence on what the government would like to do on environmental affairs or anything. So on a strictly how should I put it?
Political situation.
But the thing is, on this particular topic, there is no divergence of views because the population as such, and also the government, everybody is pretty much in sync here. There is a very strong consensus, I think, in the Danish population and certainly within the government on the green agenda. We are a country that we are very much known for our strong support on how to combat the climate change, and the government has an extremely ambitious green agenda. So basically the king is completely in sync with the government and the people on this one. But what I'm trying to say, that even if the king wasn't, even if the king had a completely different agenda, that would be without any influence whatsoever on government policy, because there is this distinction between the apolitical situation of the monarch and the running of government, which is separate.
Okay. Mr. Ambassador, let's turn to the question about bilateral relations between Indonesia and Denmark. The two countries have a very strong relations, and even until now they still keep on maintaining this bilateral cooperation. So my question is, what is the current bilateral cooperation between Indonesia and Denmark?
I think it's fair to say that we have very, very good bilateral relations. I think I noticed that immediately after I arrived here, that no matter where I come, I'm received with very, very open arms and very friendly reception at the ministerial level and all over the administration. Denmark is perceived as a true partner, and there are no conflicts or anything. So we have very, very good bilateral relations. So I'm very pleased with that. So there is really very, very good cooperation at all levels, administration all the way up to government levels.
Actually, are there, potential cooperation that can be developed by the two countries, maybe in the field of economy and even defense cooperation, or such exchanging students, university students, when Danish students come to Indonesia to study here and Indonesian students come to Denmark to study, such giving scholarship, Your Excellency?
We have a number of areas where we cooperate very closely. We have programs where universities cooperate with universities in Indonesia. We have, of course, economic cooperation. We have environmental cooperation. We have cooperation in the maritime area, green shipping. We have a very, very intense cooperation in the energy sector. If I could be allowed to mention a pet project of my own that I would very much like to see materialize during the few years that I will be here, I would be extremely happy and extremely proud if it would be possible to enter into some kind of biodiversity partnership between Denmark and Indonesia. I think if we could find a way to identify some projects where we could work together to really protect the amazing biodiversity that you have in this beautiful country, for the good of the planet, for generations to come. I think that would be, from my personal view, that would be amazing, because we have a long-standing presence here in Indonesia, working with small projects all over the country. But if we could put this into some kind of a real framework, and maybe, for example, just to give an idea, in the context of the new capital, where now this great project in almost in the middle of the jungle, there are there are opportunities there to do something for the protection of the biodiversity there. I went there to talk to the people there, and they have these huge ideas about how to create corridors there to protect the wildlife and reforestation. There are really something spectacular going on there. So if we could become part of that, that would give me great personal pleasure to do something like that. That doesn't mean that we're not doing all the other things, but if you ask me for my personal, I mean, that would be something that I personally would really like to do. But we are doing all the other things also. It's not one and not the other. It's basically trying to do a lot of things at the same time.
Okay. Mr. Ambassador, during your duty in Indonesia, actually, can you tell me maybe about the name of one of maybe Indonesian tourism destinations that you have already visited? Maybe such, tourism destinations, maybe in Bali or maybe in Sorong, there's like Raja Ampat, maybe in Bunaken. Have you already visited one of Indonesian?
Well, I have to say that the embassy here keeps me very busy. Wow. So it's not that I have much time to go around to play tourist, but I'm very happy that I was able to go to Borobudur.
Oh, Borobudur temple.
So that was a great experience. It's a magical place. It's a magical place. But I have on my list several places that I want to go. I'm not leaving Indonesia without having seen the Komodo dragon. So no, there are many places that I'd like to see. But I have to say that the embassy is a busy place. So tourism has to be a little a little on the side. But yeah.
Well, still talking about tourism destination, your Mr. Ambassador. Actually, what is the name of tourism destination in Denmark when Indonesian people go there? What is the favorite place for Indonesian people when they visit Denmark?
I think that they do like most tourists. They head straight to Copenhagen and they go visit the traditional sites there. They go to see the Little Mermaid. They see the sites in Copenhagen. I would just hope that some of them, they also take the time to go outside of Copenhagen, because there are also many other places to visit in Denmark, even though Denmark compared to Indonesia is a tiny place. But there are also, for those who are more adventurous, there are also places to go, like the Faroe Islands and Greenland, which are off the beaten track, but definitely worth going. But of course, it takes more time and more traveling. But I would just hope that Indonesian tourists do take a little more time and also venture outside of Copenhagen to see also not only the few sites that everybody goes to see.
Oh, okay. So last question, Mr. Ambassador, do you have any message or I can say expectation for the sake of enhancing bilateral relations between Indonesia and Denmark in the future?
Expectations. My expectation is that we will definitely keep on our path towards even stronger and I wouldn't say more friendly, because they cannot get more friendly, our relations, but we can probably diversify and find new areas where we can build, like I mentioned, the biodiversity. It could be something where we could explore and maybe go into different kinds of cooperation. But I would like to mention that, as you said, we have a long history. So next year, in 2025, will be a landmark. We will have 75 years of bilateral, of diplomatic relations in 2025. So we will have a whole year where we will have plenty of occasions to celebrate our long-standing friendship And I hope that we will have many events where we can congratulate ourselves on our long-standing friendship. And I can promise you, as ambassador, that I will certainly do my best, not only to maintain the friendly relations, but also to build upon them and hopefully make them even stronger.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Sten Frimodt Nielsen, as Ambassador of Denmark to Indonesia, for your time to have interview today.
My pleasure.
Okay, well, listener, that was our special review with Ambassador of Denmark to Indonesia, Malaysia, Timor-Leste, Papua New Guinea, and ASEAN, His Excellency Mr. Sten Frimodt Nielsen. I'm Ahmad Faisal. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Voice of Indonesia.